Joining me this Monday. This is Colleen Light, and I am with Cards by Coco. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I am so happy to be back on my normal schedule. It's so funny. This time last week we didn't have any power, so that was kind of crazy. So I'm happy to be back now. Leave a comment, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. This is the current host code. Hi, Tammy. This is my current host code. So if you're going to place an order under $150, I appreciate it if you use it. But it's always in my way when I craft. So I'm going to scooch it out of my way right now. So I hope you were able to screenshot it. This is a Case the Catalog Monday for me. We have this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous new mini catalog. It even says my copy up here so I don't give it away. And I come live on YouTube on Monday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. And on Thursday, I go live on Facebook at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I always start my creative process with the card from the catalog. It's just how I get used to the dies. It just kind of gets me in the groove of the stamp set. So this is this week's schedule. We're going to case this card right here. I think it's adorable. It's not ripped. I just don't adhere. If you've been following me, you know I don't adhere the layer I write on until I actually write on it. Thursday, I have something a little fun up my sleeve, and Saturday, I'm part of a blog hop. So check back Saturday because I'm going to be making a super, super cute card. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pop these measurements here. I'm going to have them all blogged for you. But if you're somebody who likes them right away, take a quick screenshot because I'm going to move this off to the side so it's not in my way too. So 1, 2, 3, and there it goes. And it will be on my blog, Cards by Coco. So let's go ahead and start with our card base. I always have to start at the beginning. So our card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored that at 4.25. I'm going to kind of give that a little back and forth so it folds nicely. I'm going to even up my edges here, take my bone folder, and I'm going to give that a little press there. I'll fill you in on what's going on in Stampin' Up! As we go along here. For my second layer, I cut a piece and I don't know what happened to it. I probably tucked it away. We'll cut another piece of this wonderful, beautiful, one of my favorites. It's the Country Gingham Designer Series paper. And how pretty is this? It's right up my alley. I love all the things country. And I'm waiting for my new designer series to come. So love, love, love this sweet sorbet color. Love it. All right, we're going to have to cut another piece of this because I tidied up my craft room before I came on, and I'm sure I tucked that piece I needed away someplace. It's probably nice and organized someplace. So we want this piece at 4.25. We want it the same size as the card base. 4.25 by 5.5. Actually, I think I want it just a smidge left. I think that's what I decided last time, 5.5. Oh my goodness, can't even measure today. So let's go ahead and go like that. And I'm going to just take just a breath off of this one here. I don't want very much at all, just a little bit. There we go. And there's that piece right there. And I'm using, let me tell you the color palette that I'm using today. This is mint macaron that I'm working with here. We're also going to be using saffron, pear pizzazz, and soft suede. I love how these colors come together. I think they're just gorgeous together. So really happy about that. And of course, I love the yellows. All right, so here's this piece now. I'm organized again. This is for our inside panel. Then I have 2 scraps here of that saffron and the pear pizzazz because we're going to be doing some fun die cutting. Okay, so let me show you how this comes together. Here, let me see. I just organized myself just right out of the gate. Oh, I forgot about this panel. My goodness. This panel would come over here, but you can see we're going to be doing some die cuts. This second layer, or third layer, I should say, measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. Let me show you the stamp set and the dies, and then we're going to start putting our card together. Like this one goes actually really quickly. It looks a little fancy, but it's not. So these are the around the bend dies. Aren't these gorgeous? This is the ones we are using today. Let me see. I'll put it against something white. We're going to be using that one. We're going to be using these beautiful leaves here. I think that's all. No, and we had some flowers right here. We had the little flowers. Those are the ones that I am using today. So how fun is that? Isn't that just gorgeous? So I'm looking for the stamp set, which is in here somewhere too. My goodness, who goes live to do a video and doesn't grab the stamp set? That is so funny. You know, the dog was in here with me. It'll pop up. It'll turn up. I'm not worried. It'll pop up as we start gluing and putting things together. Oh, and there, it just did. I just had to turn my head the right way. Oh my goodness. See, Tammy, who's watching, and we were out crafting all day, all morning, so I'm not as organized as I usually am. Hi, Jan. Nice to see you, that you could pop on. And yes, Tammy, the dies are gorgeous. So this is the around the bend. So you can see you can stamp too all of these beautiful sentiments. We have some flowers. We have the little wavy deals there. Just gorgeous. So I've done a little die cutting in advance, and I always kind of start putting, before I adhere anything to the base, I start just adhering. So this piece here uses this die. So what I did is I actually followed the catalog and I lined my die up like that. So you didn't have to watch me cut out all these dies. Here it is. This is your die cut right there. Isn't that just gorgeous? I absolutely love it. So that's what that die does. Then I went ahead and I used the Pear Pizzazz just because I think that is such a pretty color against the mint, and I think that the leaves look beautiful. And I used those leaf dies that I pulled out here, and I cut those out just on the cut and emboss machine. And then I did a bunch of flowers just because, you know, I like the flowers. Let me toss that out of the way. I have some of our rhinestone basic jewels here. Let me see. That I want to use one of our Stampin' Blends on before we get too busy here, because I want to put a little bit of color on them. I have my Dark So Saffron Stampin' Blend. This is what the package looks new. This is what it looks like when you've been using them nonstop throughout the holiday season. And I'm gonna, let's try this again. I put the cap on the wrong end. And I'm gonna go ahead and color about 3 of these here. So these rhinestone basic jewels, I think I've said before, you can color on these with your Stampin' Blends. You can do it with the pearls also. And it's really beautiful. So if you don't have a color that matches, you want to get some of these and the basic pearls, because they just really can add all a little bit of sparkle in the color you want to match your project. And that's the important part. So I'm going to set these off to dry here. Okay, and let's start adhering our card. While I'm adhering the card, I don't know if you've heard about Stampin' Up's Join special. It is absolutely amazing. There's 3 ways to join while I grab my glue. If you're interested, there's 1, 2, 3, and look at that boho blue. Isn't that just gorgeous? I absolutely love, love, love it. So I've got my glue now. Let me move that out of the way. Got my glue. And I had my silicone mat right here. And you all know that I love, for these fine little die cuts, I love just to have household toothpicks in my room, in my craft room here, because they work so well. You can buy the glue tip the fine glue tip bottle and add your glue in that. I seem to do better. You know, I've said before, I did some quilling before, and I seem to do better with these toothpicks for the small ones. I just put a little bit dollop there, and if I want a little spot like there, and I want to be careful not to get too much glue around, I just use the toothpick, and it seems to work real well for me. So I think you should find the system that works for you. If you like the fine tip bottle, that's glue bottle, that's what you should use. Um, but I think because I did the quilling, and if you haven't seen quilling, it's absolutely beautiful, but boy, is it labor intensive. So anyway, we scooch that out of the way. Well, actually, I don't want to scooch it too far out of the way. I think I want to put it right here, and I don't want to get glue all over my fingers, so I'm going to grab my tweezers. And I lined it up I just picked a square where I thought it would match well, and that's what I used for my border for this die cut. And then I gave it a little press. We're going to be adding other things in here, so if you're not exactly even, you'll be okay. Okay, so now while that's doing its thing and sitting there, let's do a little bit of stamping. That's my favorite part after all. How about you? That is really my favorite part. I love the stamping part. It is my absolute favorite. That's what Tammy and I were doing earlier today. We were working on older paper pumpkin kits and doing some stamping. And it was nice. We sat in Starbucks. We had some, well, I had a bagel. I don't remember what Tammy had. I'm sure it was good. And some ice water, and they made us feel quite welcome. Sorry, there's a little smudge on that. They made us feel nice and welcome there, and we were able to take our time, visit, and work on some paper pumpkin kits. So that was really a nice morning. Okay, so soft suede. You could do your memento if you don't have soft suede. You could do your memento tuxedo, your tuxedo black. You could use crumb crake, anything, I wanted a little bit of a softer color just because I think this mint is such a soft color that I didn't want the dark black. Okay, so you could use your Stamparatus if you wanted to make sure you were 100% right there. Yeah, that is kind of even. You know what? I think we're gonna have to turn that over. I don't know. That wasn't looking so good, was it? Let me go ahead here. And let's try this one again. Let's see here. Okay. So hard because I can live with that one. That one's better. Okay. Now I want to take two of my flowers here and I'm going to grab I think a smaller block. I want a little bit of a smaller block. I think that one's pretty big. Let's see if this one will work. These ones might be too small. Let's see. And let me grab another stamp out because I want to add the flowers on either side. So let me see here. I think I want this one. Oh, no, fits perfectly. And then I wanted this one. And it'll work just great. Well, if I go like that, it'll work great. See, I want to make sure I have it on an angle so it does work great. There we go. Perfect. All right. And then I wanted to tie in that mint color again. Let's go ahead and do that. So I will check if you have any questions about the joining special, or if you have any questions, well, with the stamp set, or just anything in general, me, just pop me a question or a message and I will look at that at the end before I sign off. So doesn't that just have that nice kind of country feel to it? I just think this stamp set is great, and I think it's an easy one that can be overlooked. All right, let's go back to gluing and adhering again. So what I did is the reason I wanted to stamp this is I wanted to kind of figure out exactly where I wanted it on my card placement. So I knew where to tuck my leaves in. So since I turned it over, I just want to flatten that edge a little bit. There we go. And before we glue this one down, we're going to add a little bit of color to that leaf. I'm just going to wait for the ink to dry all the way for a minute. So I think I want this one. Let me grab all my die cuts here. I think I want this one right there. We want to be able to see it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just pop a little bit of glue to the end of this. And let's go ahead and get that adhered. So down here, I can add the glue, but as I come up towards the top, I'm going to want to bring in my silicone mat again and grab my toothpick and just dot a little bit on these leaves because I really don't, I want to make sure I don't get any glue on my card. I don't want to have to recut that big piece again and lose all of that. Okay, so I decided I wanted this right there. So I am going to pop this leaf. So I have a little bit of glue there. Let's just press this right there. Isn't that pretty? And then this is going to come over like that. So, so pretty. Okay, I want this one. I'm going to tuck it right in the curve there. Let's go ahead and do that again. And again, down here I can put a little bit more glue, but just add in. Most of us have toothpicks in the house, right? Right, and I'm going to tuck this one right in the curve there. And hopefully I'm in screen. It is fun to have a Stampin' Buddy, Jan. Absolutely. Let's do that. And then I came home and cleaned for a little bit, so my hands are probably real red. It's in there scrubbing away. Anyway, and then I think I want to tuck this one right there. Kind of so they're all in the same area. You could go with a bigger one, I think another big leaf. I wanted to try and use all the leaves and see how they cut. So that's what I did. So the Stampin' Join In special is amazing this time around. If you have not taken a peek at it, do, especially if you're somebody who orders. Not a hard sell, but it really is the best value. Okay, let's move this out of the way for a second. And let's go ahead and grab our blends. And for this one, I'm going to use the light end, the light So Saffron. And you're going to notice I'm not going to color that inside piece because I am going to put one of our gems that we colored there. All right, I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals. And then we're going to tuck our flowers around this. So that's why I'm not putting our flowers on now. I always hope nobody deconstructs my cards, you know, because there's likely going to be misaligned stamping on the backside. But right, our cards are not Hallmark. They're made with love. They're not supposed to be perfect. All right, let's go ahead and pop this piece right here, covering up some of that. Oh, how pretty does that look? Hang on, got a little something right there. There, it came off. Nice. How pretty is that? Now let's grab some of our flowers. I'm going to take this one, and you can see, I'm going to show you the catalog picture when we're done, and see if you think that I got pretty close to casing the catalog. I think I did. And I love to case the catalog because it is such a great idea book. I mean, honestly, Stampin' Up, I think, has just fabulous artisans, and they do all of this work, and you know, and their color coordination can't be beat. And I think, gosh, why not? Why not do that? Why not case the catalog? They do such a great job at designing these cards. That one's going to go right there. I don't know. Let me know if you ever case the catalog. It's how I always start out a new stamp set. I know I say that every video, but it really is how I start out the new stamp set that I get, because it just gives me a feel for how everything's going to come together, how it's going to cut. I'm going to pop this one down a little bit. The other one I hung over the edge. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Anyway, it'll stay put. No glue marks, and it stayed put. Woohoo, it's my lucky day. That's what my granddaughter would say. She'd say, "Nah, it's your lucky day." Okay, let's put this around here again. Oh, I hope I'm not too far off. I think my camera may be a little low this time. I don't know. It's always a work in progress. Every video is a little different. Either I'm 3 miles away or I'm right on top of the project. I don't know. Um, and I would leave the camera set up, except that I need to move it to take pictures. Or not the camera setup, the stand the phone's pressed on. How cute is that? All right, let's get out our embellishments now. You remember at the very beginning, we went ahead and we used the So Saffron on that. So let's go ahead and pick those 3 up. And I'm going to pop one right here in the center there of this. I'm going to pop one right here in the center there. And I wanted to pop one because I want to add it. Actually, I'm not going to use that 3rd one. I think what I'm going to do is just take this tip here and pop it right in the middle there. Just like that, so the card's not too bulky. And I noticed in the catalog that they had 2 of just the uncolored ones, that there was 3 right here on the edge. So since I put this one up a little higher, I'm going to put one there, and then I'm going to bring one there and kind of follow that curve and go there. How pretty is that? Now that we know that everything is adhered properly, we're going to go ahead and pop this on, actually pop it on our card. Let me see which side I want to use here. That side looks like it's good. Okay. And we're going to pop that on our card now. When I first started, I would adhere my beautiful paper to the card base first. And then if I made a mistake, everything had to go in the bin. Everything had to go in the bin. And after about the 2nd or 3rd card that I did, this covers the entire front, so make sure you're lined up properly. About the 3rd or 4th card that ended up in the bin, I decided that I would adhere everything appropriately and then attach it to my card base. Because when I first started, let me tell you what, I threw a lot of stuff in the trash. And that is not the way you really want to go. Okay, so let me get this one stamp back here. And we're going to stamp the inside panel. And this is just cut 1/8 of an inch shorter. You can do it 1/4 of an inch. You can do 1/8, whatever you prefer. You can make the whole thing line up. Whatever works for you is what you should do. Okay, and I'm just going to take my little flower here, and I'm going to come right down here to the corner, pop that right in, just like that, just to give the inside a little bit of decoration. And after I write my note or add a sentiment, depending on what I'm sending this for, I will go ahead and adhere this here. If you really want to get fancy, don't forget, you can always stamp the outside of your envelope too. So let me get the catalog back because I want to know if you think I came close to casing the catalog. I know they used a different sentiment here. They used the "I'm just so happy for you," but I really wanted to use the "hello" there because I sent more hello cards than "I'm happy for you" cards. It's not that I'm not happy for people. It's just that I send more "hello there" cards. So tell me, do you think I came pretty close? I think I came close, and I hope you like like having the dimensions in case you want to screenshot them. Again, everything will be on my blog, Cards by Coco. That's my hub. It's where you'll find all the sale information. It's where you'll find the join-in special information, catalog links. But if you're a person that doesn't like going to blogs, go ahead and you can read my handwriting. Go ahead and screenshot that. Anyway, so let me see here if anyone has any questions. Nope. Jan, it was easy to overlook, right? But remember that one. So for those of you who've been with Stampin' Up for a while, there was another curvy die set, and I absolutely loved it. So the minute I saw something with a curve again, I decided I had to get it. Anyway, you all have a great day. I will be back on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And don't forget, I'm doing a blog hop this Saturday where I will be I'm going to be using the set because I do one set a week to make a Valentine's Day card. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Wish me luck on that one. And you all have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me.